Harvey was 2018. Yeah.
It's crazy how so I was obviously in a different area at the time, and just how oblivious you are to catastrophe that isn't relative to where you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had no idea that much rain fell in such a short amount of time. That's horrible.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this when I mentioned the freeze to you.
Yeah.
Like anybody here in Texas, like we're like you say the freeze, and it's like, oh yeah, it's just
yeah.
And you're like,
I'm like what? Like
yeah, what are you talking about?
yeah, freeze. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Yeah.
Well, Pennsylvania, I mean, you guys,
it's always freezing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're from Philly, right?
Yeah. Originally from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What part?
So not too far from like Newark. There's a town called Plainfield, small town.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I went to just grew up out there.
Well, you look like a fucking like superhero.
Yeah.
Like you look like you look like you should be some fucking action hero, dude.
Oh man, my uncle used to say that, man. Rest in peace, man. So maybe one day, man, I'll be Batman. You know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I looked at you. I was like, motherfucker should be like he should be like if not nothing less than a stunt double. This guy should be a fucking action like superhero. You're huge, man.
I appreciate
How
that,
big
man.
are you?
I'm 230 right now.
Man.
6'1", 230.
So you look a lot bigger.
Okay.
You know what it is?
What, the height?
No. I was gonna say the hair.
Okay.
But you know what, man? Dude, you're I don't know, you're a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there looking, I was like, God, he's like 6'4", but I'm looking up at you like this. Like, we took pictures out here and I looked at him and was like, that motherfucker's way bigger than I am.
I'll tell you.
I'm 5'9".
5'9", okay,
yeah,
yeah.
so I mean, yeah, you got good 4
Couple
inches on me. Yeah.
Couple, yeah, it's a couple.
But you're only 230 pounds.
Yep, 230, man.
So I gotta lose some weight then. I'm a 200.
200,
Yeah. I gotta cut it down.
What do you want to get down to?
Honestly, my ideal weight is where I want to be is about 195.
195.
Yeah.
Just holding that all year round.
Yeah. My I mean, we've we'll be at the gym at the same time. I see how you work out. You see how I work out. We're we're working hard, dripping in sweat. So I think for me, easily without a problem, I should be able to maintain somewhere between 6. Well, not 6. 6 is kind of low, but somewhere between maybe 8 and 10% body fat.
Okay. Yeah.
That's kind of my ideal at about 195.
Okay.
I think I could maintain that just day in and day out.
Oh yeah.
But I like to eat.
Yeah.
Like I like to eat. Like when you went to Perry's last night, what did you have to eat?
That was I can't do that often. You can't eat those kind of. They're just. I had the cowboy tomahawk. The big boy.
Oh,
yeah,
you had the bone in and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was. Yeah, I want to do it right, man. You
Yeah.
told me to go there, man. I'm like, yo, what should I get? They told me, hey, that's what you want. And my wife got the braised beef. Big strip. Fell right off the bone, man. I'm picking at her plate, man. We had a good time, man. Thank you for that, man. We had a great time.
that
man.
place really is very. There's a couple
Really good place.
really good place around town. Like there's the Palm, but like that one right there, like that's a definite go to.
I was telling her that. I would go back, man, easily.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
And then when the chopper landed, I'm like, oh yeah, this is where I need to be, man. That was cool.
I'll tell you, man, little like local secret to that place.
Yeah.
Go there. Obviously, look, it's expensive.
For sure.
You're going. I mean, that tomahawk. What that tomahawk ran you a pretty penny.
The bill itself was nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's there, man.
Yeah.
But you go. Here's what you do. You go if you want to go back there, and it's not like a special occasion or anything like that. Go into the bar and sit down in the bar area.
Okay.
Everything's like half price.
Okay.
It's the same exact menu. It's happy hour prices.
Okay.
From like 3 PM till like 8 at night.
Oh. Okay. So not even just like till like 5.
No.
Like you can actually have a. Okay.
Yeah, you can go in there on a regular dinner night at 6, 7 o'clock, have a good dinner, and everything's like half price.
Yeah. Got to find a sitter for that. A little bit different there,
Yeah. You know what? You can't spoil the kids like that all the time.
Yeah. Yep.
How many kids you got?
Just one.
Yeah?
He's 2, 2.5. He'll be 3 next month.
Nice,
He's
man.
a little dude. Little dude.
Yeah.
Hey, he's getting there. He had a good time.
Your first one?
Yeah, first one. Yeah.
What's it like, man?
Game changer, man. Game changer for sure, man. I thought I was working hard before he came. And you know, you're going full tilt. You know how we are. You know what I mean? You're going to the gym. You're working hard, and then you have a kid, and then you're still trying to do all those same things. And you realize you got to take it up to another notch, right? You got to become more efficient with your time, right? Because you want to spend time with him and keep everything going. That's keeping everything going. You know what I mean? So definitely a game changer, man. I had to grow a lot. Thanks to him, you know. So and there's a relationship there too, right? Obviously, with a woman that you have to put time into.
Still got to take care of mama.
For sure, right? Yeah. Like that's right, exactly. So we were just kind of tossed into it, I would say. Like he was a bit of a surprise, and we were kind of not new. Like we've been together like 2-3 years or so before he came, but yeah, we're handling it, man. Kind of just growing together as a unit.
Well, I mean, so you take that y'all's relationship. You take throw the kiddo in there, and now you come to Texas.
Yep.
Now, look, outside the weather, how have you been treated since you've been here?
Wonderfully, man. People. Yeah. So I went to a gas station, and it's a small short story, but it's like it just shows you to me how kind people are here. So I'm waiting at a pump, and there's no room to get around, and I have the truck, the Gladiator, and the guy, he tries to get around, but he kind of can't, and he doesn't want to skip me. So he pulls up next to me, gets out his car, pulls up to my window, like, "Hey man, you mind if I go around, man? I don't want to skip you." I said, "Yo, go ahead." Like, geez, like people are that nice here, man. Like no one's doing that up where I came from, man. So
they're gonna go right in front of you.
They're just gonna do it. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? So it was nice. He got out of his car, asked me like so politely. I'm like, "Yo, go!" Like they're like that nice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was, yeah. So stuff like that's happening all the time.
Were you standing outside the truck?
No, I was in the truck.
Okay, because if he's looking at you and he's like, I'm not gonna piss this guy off.
No, I got tinted windows. He's just a genuinely nice guy, man.
Yeah, so that's you know, I everybody says that they come. Obviously, there's the thought process about Texas. Mm-hmm. Everybody. And maybe Texas plays into it a little bit because we want to keep some of the people from California out.
Or there's so much pride here. I mean, my wife talk about it all the time. Like we came here, we're like, oh yeah, we're Texans fans now. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so much pride here, and I don't know, if you're open to it, you can fall in love with it. Like, you know what I mean? If you're a pretty open person, pretty loving person, man, Texas welcomes you with open arms, man. So,
big time.
I want to get my whole family down here someday, man.
Are they still up northeast?
Yeah, Philly area.
Okay.
Mostly, South Jersey.
My best friend, his wife, her entire family, that's where they're from.
Okay.
And so they're trying to
from New Jersey or Pennsylvania.
I want to say they live in Jersey. She grew up in Pennsylvania, like Allentown.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so she grew up there.
So you know a little bit of okay.
Yeah.
Holding back a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, through my travels a little bit here and there.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, but they so this same exact way.
Yeah. Did they just did they have any I guess a stronger why? Like why they came down here?
So well my buddy Fred, he's from here. We grew up together. We've known each other since we were 10.
Okay.
He actually met his wife through skating, through the speed skating things, more or less. And that's where her family is from, is up there. And so she lives, like, they actually lived in New York for a couple years, and it's what you're experiencing here versus something like that, where if you're from here and you realize what the Southern hospitality is, it's not to say that, hey, the people in general are like really different. It's just the general demeanor of the attitude of everybody.
For sure.
It's a collective kindness.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Very well said, man.
Everybody.
Lottie-dottie, everybody.
Everybody wants to wave when you let them in, stuff like that. Thank you. You know, throw a hand out the window. It's not a finger going out the window. It's like, hey, thank you for letting me in.
We were at Perry's, man, and just people pass by. They say, they love how, cute. They say how cute my son is, and it's like people are just genuine. I can't, like, it's one of those things you can't really describe until you come and you stayed a couple of days and you realize people are just genuinely pleasant. is the best word for it. Like, and yeah, it just, there's no correlation there. It's just people are a lot more rigid up north for some reason. I don't know what it is. They're moving, they're hustling and bustling, and they're just a little more closed off.
They're pissed off because they're stuck inside 6 months out of the year.
And it's
it's cold.
Yeah, you
and they're crammed into a small area like sardines. You know,
can't get that fresh air, man. That good sunlight, man. I think it's a collective of a bunch of things. Man.
Yeah, it really is not, and I'm glad that you got to come down here. Someone from like the Northeast, you got to come down here and experience that so quickly. Because I tell people, I'm spoiled. Like I grew up on a ranch, but I refuse to ever live on a fucking ranch ever again. Never again. Like I'll own property, but I'll be goddamn if I got cows and shit again, man.
Why?
Because I would get up at 5 a.m. and have to feed them fat bastards before I went to school. Oh, it was horrible, man. My dad, he loved it
before school.
Oh yeah, man. And then on the weekends, you know, my mom, you know, we lived where we lived was north of here.
Okay.
There was no gym anywhere near. I wasn't working out. My mom used to call the muscles I had weed eater muscles because I got the weed eater out there, the weed whacker, and I'm knocking down all the weeds around the trees and everything. She got bored and counted like 300 and some odd trees in our backyard, just in the backyard. And
she counted 300 trees.
Yeah, she got bored one day and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to count the pine trees out here." So yeah, she goes through and I have to weed, and that was the thing. I had to weed eat around all those trees every single weekend, and then we had the perimeter fence of the property. I had to weed eat both sides of it.
How much land are you talking about? Acres wise.
I don't remember exactly how many acres.
Okay.
I do know the fence was about 2 miles.
Jeez.
Just the perimeter fence was about 2 miles, and I'd have to walk both sides of it. So it sucked because we moved out there when I was 10, and it's a 6 foot tall fence because of the horses and cows. So problem for
cows
me is
can't jump though, can they?
No, but I guess you have to build a little bit, obviously, for the horses.
Okay.
I don't know. Have you? I mean, what? There's a nursery room about a cow jumping over the moon. I don't know.
Yo, you said it, so I was just curious. Like, oh man, I've never seen it. They mess with each other a little bit though. Like I've been to some places that you see them, they'll kind of get up a little bit and kind of mess with each other, wrestle around a little bit. But I don't think it clears 6 foot fence.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah, it's probably not going over like maybe a foot or two.
Yeah.
But it was horse. The property originally was set up for horses, and then we would just board other people's horses there. And we eventually tore down a lot of the interior fences and got rid of like the stables and stuff like that. But this perimeter fence. But so when I was young and I had to weed eat this stuff, I couldn't climb that damn fence
to get over to the other side.
Get over the other side. So I would literally have to walk around 2 miles that way, then walk 2 miles back this way. I could go about halfway, but I still had to walk like extra miles until I was big enough to where I was, because I can promise you, my father paying. You know, he was one of those men that had. It was like first generation wealthy. Like he made made all the money himself, right? And so he knew the value. And so if I threw that goddamn weed eater, he could see it. He's gonna hear it hit the ground if
if you tossed it over.
If I try to toss it over and then jump
over?
Yeah, it ain't happening.
How big is it? How big is a weed eater? Is it like a weed whacker?
Like 5 foot, maybe 5 foot long in general, 5 or 6 feet long.
So you don't have to get pretty creative to like get it over without throwing it over and then get yourself over.
Yeah, when I wasn't tall enough, like when you're tall enough, you can just like lean it over and kind of lean it down like that. I wasn't tall enough to do that, so I would have to like inch it over the fence, and it would hit the ground, and I was like, oh my God. But here's what's really the funny part. What he used to do is he'd come out on a tractor and he had the gas can. Because there's no way I can do all of that on one tank of gas. So what he would do is he would strategically place the gas can. He would drive out there on a tractor and then strategically place the gas can out there for me to be able to fill up. He's not helping me. He's not helping me get over the fence. He's not doing any of that shit. It's literally, he's just going to put the gas can down so I can. But then I'd have to carry the gas can back
with the weed eater.
Just so I can get it to a place where it's not left out in the open. That's the way. But that's the way he did it.
I think there's power in that though. There's so much power in that. Like I think about like my childhood or my grandparents. That and it wasn't 2 miles, but like we had a rock driveway. She'd make us pick weeds. Me and my brother, every Saturday we'd be out there picking weeds, nubbing our fingers, scraping through the skin, throwing them in a pile. You can't leave the pile there because they'll start to get back. They'll grow roots again. Make sure you get that out of there. She had us scrubbing the walls in the house, man. And like that, I don't know. That does something to you. I don't know. It's a good, like, it's healthy. I think for especially a boy, like a boy, like that little bit of hardship, that little bit of struggle, man, is healthy for. I don't know. It goes a long way. Like it's subconscious. Like it. You don't want to do it, but you're doing a hard thing you don't want to do, and I don't know. I think it does something for you.
Well, yeah, the whole time you're pissed off about it, and then like 10 years later, 20 years later, you're like,
"Thank you."
Yeah, like I appreciate it now.
For sure. You hate it. Oh my God, you hate it. Like, why am I scrubbing these walls? Like, you yelling at me, like. It's like, why? Like, why? Like,
first off, why are these walls so dirty? I gotta scrub them.
Yeah, like all over. Like, Jesus. Like, let's just repaint them or something. Like, man, you're like, this isn't right, man. But
oh man,
you get older and I don't know. You have a graciousness and a gratitude for it, man.
Yeah. What did your parents do? Like when you were growing up, did you live with your grandparents? Do you live?
Yeah. So I grew up with my grandparents. So my dad was around till I was like 4. My brother was 3, and I was 4. He left, so we moved in with my grandparents, and from then I was where we stayed throughout high school.
Because I don't know you that well, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think you can sense that I like to joke around.
Shoot.
Did he go? What did he just like go get milk?
Is
that what it was? He went to go get milk, then come back.
Basically, yeah. So what happened is he kind of it was like sprinkle. Like he would come through. So like when he started to kind of drift away, we moved in with my auntie. We're like 3 and 4, 3 and 2 at the time. I don't know why I can still remember as far back, but yeah, it's crazy. Like when there's like a lot of like big events going on, some of your brain like picks it up, and it keeps it. But he would come over, I would get happy, like he would come, we'd hang out or whatever. He came for a couple hours or whatever, and he just stopped, you know what I mean? And then we moved there with my grandparents, and for a long time it was hard, you know what I'm saying? Because I was old enough to like remember him and like feel like, yo, like what happened? Like, you know, so it was like a soft spot for me. And then over time, I got a little harder around it because, you know, it was hard. You know, I would cry a lot, you know what I mean? So, but I'm grateful now because it gave me a closer relationship with God. I had no choice, you know what I'm saying? There was no like dad there, so I had to grow that relationship. My parents did give me that, my grandparents, so forever grateful, you know what I'm saying? Now I got a little boy and I get to do it the right way. So it all comes full circle, man.
Yeah.
And, it's a good thing.
Well, like you said, you get to you have those past experiences and you don't appreciate them really at the time. But I think we even talked about this yesterday. It was how you tell the story.
Yes. The stories you tell yourself are more important than the events that occur in your life. That's it right there. So events occur, you tell yourself a story. The story you tell yourself will dictate how if that turns into a failure, you kind of slide downhill, or you take it and, you know, use it as rocket fuel and, you know what I'm saying, blast off. So absolutely, man, you got to tell yourself positive stories always.
You have like I have a mantra I wake up and say to myself every single day. I say, today I want to be the kind of man that I would like my sons to grow up and be like. And today I want to be the kind of man that I hope my daughter one day seeks out in her life. That to me, hey, look, I've got my own issues with my kids and their moms and stuff like that. But at the same time, that's the thought process that goes behind that is to say, I just want to be a good fucking person. Like I want to do the right thing, and I want to treat people well.
Facts. It's funny that's your mantra, man. Like when I was like 14, 15, and my mom will attest to this, man, I randomly I don't know, I got this question in my head, and I don't know where I heard it, but I went to my mom's computer and I printed off, typed it in Word. I said, what kind of man do you want to be? And I made like 7 or 8 copies, and I taped it all around my room. So like every day I would look at that. What kind of man do you want to be, right? Because my dad wasn't there, right? So like, what kind of man do you want to be? Ask yourself that, right? Like, what kind of man do I want to be? You sit on the edge of your bed, you ask yourself that question, and let it dictate, you know, how you move throughout life, right? You got to be conscious and intentional. You know what I mean? So I like your mantra, man. It's as a man, as a boy growing up, man, you got to ask yourself those questions, man. That way you do it intentionally.
Intention.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Intention is like, you have to be purposeful.
For sure.
I think something that mostly within men today, there's the loss of intention. And hey, look, right or wrong, whatever. I think we give a lot of women a pass to get away with more mistakes. Men are not granted such leniency, and so but if you can show that you were purposeful and you were intentional in it, at least from the recognition standpoint, says, all right, motherfucker tried. Like he was doing it. He was working hard for it.
And men will pull you up too. Like if they can sense that in you, like this is a guy that's about intention. He's going about it the right way and trying. Right? They say success leaves breadcrumbs. Right? They will pull you up. Right? I was 14. And my uncle, I was trying to make money, right? I was a single mom, right? And so I want to buy my own Jordans, right? Be honest with you, right? So my uncle, he hooked me up with his best friend. It was a guy named G Wiz. He had his own car detail shop. Man, we're like 14, 13, man. My brother's really too young to be working, man. But we would ride our bike 10 miles to the next town in Westfield. We'd work all day, right? All summer long in detail cars, man. And it was hard work, but it was like he gave us a shot because he saw like, we're young, we're hustlers, we're trying to make some money, right? Although it's just, just for sneakers. But yeah, so I say that to say you will get help from other men as long as you maintain that right mindset and give it your all. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Actually, I listened to something today, and I know I'll screw it up. I don't remember every little detail of it because I was just kind of listening to it in the background. But like as men, like I said, we don't get a lot of grace. We have a large amount of expectation. And what hit me on this was outside your wife. We're gonna, what, your wife's probably the most beautiful person you've ever met.
For sure.
She's perfect. We're not gonna say anything about your wife, but say, well, you know what, your wife.
Speak in general.
Your wife will probably be upset if we even talk about maybe you dated somebody before her. She was the first person you ever talked to, right?
Yeah. We can be raw here though.
All right, but. Has your wife ever gotten mad at you or upset because maybe you didn't think about something, didn't buy flowers or something like that?
Sure, 100%.
Right.
100%.
Have you ever been upset because she didn't buy you flowers?
No, could care less. Yeah.
And I heard something today, and it was kind of pointed. It says, the only time a man will ever get flowers is at his funeral.
Yeah, that's
that hit me as profound. Like the guy was talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, but when he said that, and maybe I'm a little partial with my father passing away recently, but I heard that and I said, man, like how dividing really is that? And this, hey, look, I love women. I know you love women. You got a little boy though, right? Your little kiddo's boy. Okay, but I love women. I very close to my mom, all this, but think about that difference.
Yeah, it's vast. The difference is vast, and you can feel it even in conversations with your significant other. Like their focus and attention is not. They get to not worry about certain things that we have to focus on nonstop.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have to still be the spouse that they need you to be, and then the parent too. So it's like you get almost triple, if not more.
Yeah.
The responsibility as a man.
I look at it
in my opinion, some women are gonna hear that and freak out. But
I think that we as men that were largely raised by women, but became men with men responsibilities. We can appreciate what women go through.
For sure.
And we can also recognize how fucking hard it is for a dude.
Yeah.
Look, you can't take away the fact that, we live in a society today where the single mother households, single parent households are like quadruple what they were like 20 years ago. Yeah. They're very high. It probably started in the 90s, stuff like that, but it skyrocketed, over like the last 20, 30 years.
Is there anything Man, I think we're going to go on a tangent a little bit.
No, let's go, man.
All right. So do you credit that to any specific cause? Like about the single parent homes, what do you think is the cause of that?
So
the boom of it or
I think
why?
I've actually had this conversation with somebody before, and I believe it's kind of I believe it's kind of there was a start, which I believe was the feminist movement. I believe which I believe in general was a great thing. It gave women the sense of purpose and power. I may not understand everything about it, but it made women feel completely equal.
Yep.
Okay. From there, I think what started happening was it's social inequality, economic inequality kind of started feeding into some of that, because you started having this empowerment, and then you started having women that were going back into the workforce in droves. In tens of millions of women were going back into the workforce, and then they're realizing they're not getting paid nearly as much. And they're becoming frustrated and disenfranchised. And then I believe once we got into where it really just went haywire, mid 2000s to now, social media just exploded, and it started giving these women the right or wrong, they started seeing this perspective, and they started saying, well, I don't fucking need this. I don't need this over here. You know what? I don't care if I'm making less. I'm going to go out and do it on my own. And so it's almost like there's another like women's liberation movement, but with far less positives. Again, you go back to the original liberation movement was it's bringing women into modern society in 100% equal capacity.
Yeah. Education, all of it.
Yeah. To now it's like, well, no, I don't need a man. And hey, no woman really needs a man. I mean, they can do what they
technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they can earn a living and all that other stuff, but I think it's just this they see this over here, and I think that's like hardened a lot of people. I mean, look, I'm single, so I've tried to date. At my age, I'm 40. It's very unlikely that I'm going to date somebody in my group, in my age range. I'm not dating I did mess up and date a 21-year-old. Turned out to be a stripper.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I found out she was a stripper like 3 weeks afterwards, and I was like, okay, this is no. But she was 21.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, but that was a couple years back. But
no, but you're gonna have to go younger. You're
yeah.
gonna have to, yeah.
Well, so if I'm dating in my range, generally it's gonna be a single mom. It's gonna be a mother with one or two kids, maybe three kids, and consistently, just after having these conversations, because obviously I like to talk to people, having those conversations with these women, you kind of start picking up that they got the deep sense that, you know what, I don't need a man.
I can do battle by myself.
Yeah, and hey, and that's great, because sure, no restriction whatsoever, but you start going deeper with it, and a lot of it really does come from social media.
Yep.
We see the Kardashians out there doing this, doing that. You see this woman over here doing that, and they're like, "Oh, that's who I'm going to be," and they emulate those people.
But you know who loses, man? The kids, man.
Big time.
The kids lose, man. And I speak from personal experience, man. The kids lose, man. And you don't realize the kids don't know they're losing until they get old enough to realize what they were missing out on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you normalize it. Anything you experience as a kid, you just normalize. Like, oh, this is the way it's supposed to be. Then you get older, and you're like, yeah, I was missing. There's a gap there. You know what I mean? Now I got to try to make that gap up. And I think it messes with your self-confidence. Like, it just, especially as a man, a boy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, I want to get your opinion on that, man. I feel similarly to everything you just said, and I think that is the cause, man. I think it's I don't know how we get back to. I don't know how we get back. You know what I mean? But
I know some amazing single moms, and unfortunately, they have to play the role of both mom and dad in a lot of scenarios. I have a friend who she's an amazing single mom. Her brother comes in quite often. Him and his girlfriend come in quite often, and they spend a lot of time with her son. She's still close with her parents and stuff. And so, she's able to have this amazing, little boy around strong male figures in their lives. But
I will say that's not the same, but it does help.
Yeah, at least there's a little bit of influence.
There's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then I do have other friends who their sons don't have any.
They're just
It's their mom. It's the mom, and as good as a mom can be, a mom can't be male or mother and father at the same time.
It's not. Humans can't.
No,
Yeah.
you can go out there and play catch with the kid, but there's a bond. There's a difference when it's a father and a son. Or look, I make a joke. I was like, hey, look, I'm bound to be someone's stepdaddy. It just depends on which one of you assholes are going to start acting right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.